Hello, my name is Shamika Renee Piggy. This is my signature intake assignment. I'll be interviewing a professional actor, Darrell Bailey, who received his Master's of Fine Arts in Acting from the New York Film Academy of LA. The actor will be assuming a role and character who is currently struggling with substance abuse related issues and has recently relapsed due to one's battle with alcohol addiction. Darrell Bailey is a professional actor who has worked with individuals in recovery and will be playing on real life experiences for the role. However, these experiences are fictitious and are not the associated issues or problems of the participant or any specific individual. The role play will begin shortly. So, hello, my name is Shamika. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can I get your name, please?
My name is Travis Walters.
Travis Walters. Well, Mr. Walters, today we're going to be doing an intake interview. But first, I want to give you a little bit of background information on me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a substance abuse counselor for 4 years here at Greater Hearts, and I am credentialed through the Missouri Licensing Credentialing Board for my certifications. I've been working here as an intake coordinator and as a counselor. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of introduction into some of our policies here. And one of those, of course, is the HIPAA confidentiality clause. Now, I know you were screened in initially with the admissions intake specialist, but I want to go in and give a little bit more detail into the confidentiality clause that you were introduced to. So basically, we do protect private health information here, and through HIPAA, we do make sure that all of your health information is protected and encrypted, whether it's electronic files or it's chart files or anything that's transmitted between professionals here or anyone on your team. And so that means that we just don't go around talking about your information. We don't share it with people who we have no authority to share the information with. However, again, just want to remind you there are some limits to confidentiality as well. In that sense, if you report anything concerning suicidal ideation or wanting to harm yourself, we will make reports and hotlines in that nature to get you additional help and make referrals to possible hospitals and psych institutions. Also, if you threaten to harm someone, we do have a duty to warn that individual of potential harm or threat. And also, if you report any allegations of sexual abuse, physical abuse, or verbal abuse against you, whether it's in the current or it's in the past, we also will have to alert the authorities into that realm as well. So just wanted to let you know that there are a lot of things that are going to stay between me and you and your counseling team, your clinical team when you get with them. But there are some things of that nature that I listed that we cannot protect and we cannot hold secret due to ethical boundaries and liabilities. So just want to let you know a little bit about that clause. Now, this interview is going to be approximately 45 minutes, and I will be assuming the role of your interviewer. And what we're going to do today is kind of go over some general things that you're coming into treatment for, talk about treatment recommendations, talk about some of the needs you want to address, and some goals you'll want to address as well. We're just trying to see what our next steps are in the treatment process that can help you and help us to help you as well. Do you have any questions concerning any of those subjects that I just recently discussed?
Uh, no, I think I got that down, all of it.
Okay. If you do have any questions, please consult me or anyone on your clinical team once you're assigned, and we can definitely review those topics with you and those policies with you as well.
No, well, I guess I do have a question now. Uh, how many people are on my team, and exactly what is everybody going to be doing, or what does everybody do on my team?
I would definitely answer that question for you because I know that's a great concern of a lot of clients coming in. You have about 4 members on your team, and what that essentially means is that you're going to have a counselor, you're going to have a case manager, you're going to have several therapists, and one therapist will be a trauma therapist, a COD therapist, which deals with co-occurring disorders. So, say if you have both a substance use disorder and also a mental health disorder, that person will work specifically with you on those needs that correlate with each other. And then you also have a family therapist or counselor. So that pretty much sums up your entire team. and they will all work together in a sense to create your treatment plan, help you establish goals, and to meet those goals and to meet your needs.
All right, cool.
Okay. So tell me, why have you decided to participate in an intake interview today?
Well, I recently have been in a rehab. A couple years ago, I was struggling with alcoholism, and I recently had a relapse. I guess about 3 weeks ago, and this time, we all have relapses, but this time I didn't get back up. Let's say that. And so I thought it was time that I reach out and get me some help again.
All right, I'm glad to hear that you come in to kind of, get back on, back on board with treatment. That's really important. So you said that you recently left treatment, but 3 weeks ago you had a relapse. Can you elaborate on the relapse specifically?
Just going back into that same environment, because I'm a college student, so I went back to school, and it was just stressful, trying to catch up, since I took that little time off to go to rehab and do the papers and hang out with my same friends, but try to hold those boundaries. And I think it was just a little much for me.
Okay.
It got a little muddy out there.
So I understand that it seems as if when you return back to school after leaving your first treatment stay, it was that your first treatment stay, by the way?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so leaving your first treatment stay, you said that you kind of ran into some stressors, returning back to school, and of course, just the general things that happen at school when getting back into studies and getting back with your friends and just trying to maintain a healthy, balancing life. It seems like that was some big stressors for you, and it kind of seemed to push you towards some greater stressors that led to relapse. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this time, I would like to know, like, can you discuss in detail the substances that you're primarily struggling with right now?
Primarily it's just the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily. I do marijuana, every once in a while, but I can. That's not. It's really not for me. It's not an issue. It's really just the alcohol. Like I drink.
Okay. So I'm definitely hearing that the alcohol is the primary drug of choice. Is that
Hmm.
right? And marijuana is really not for you, but you've tried it a couple of
Yeah,
times.
like I'd much rather be drunk than get high, and I don't like being drunk and high at the same time. It's just not. It's not something that. Yeah, it's just not something I enjoy.
Okay. So I'm definitely hearing a preference more for alcohol. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So how often in the last month have you used this drug, in particular alcohol?
I'm gonna have to go with frequently, or do you want like a number?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Please do tell me a number.
Shit. The last month I probably had a drink at least 3 times a week.
Okay. So 3 times within the week. In your opinion, is that pretty frequent for you?
Well, when I drink, it's to the, I don't stop really until I get to that blackout point. And then I guess I drink more after the blackout. I don't realize it.
Okay. In your opinion, like, what's a blackout point concerning alcohol use? Like, tell me how many drinks will it take for you to get to a blackout point if that's how much you're drinking?
It's gonna take a good, I say, 11 to 15 beers. Maybe a little less if I'm drinking just straight liquor. I can fill like a whole handle of Jack. And that'll pretty much do it.
Okay. So, in your opinion, again, I want to ask: do you think 11 to 15 beers? Do you think that's a lot to get you to a blackout state, Do you think of your tolerance as being pretty high?
I do think I have a high tolerance because you notice other people and they're like blackout after like 6.
Yes, I've experienced some
So
people that have done that.
yeah, I think I just have a high tolerance for alcohol.
Alrighty. So you said you did seek some treatment concerning your alcohol use or your drug use in general. Do you feel that that was really successful for you? Did you have a beneficial experience? Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, yeah, it worked out pretty well. I was real bad and I was drinking a lot. And, basically because of the drinking, I had a lot of issues going on with school. And so I think it was just like a horrible cycle thing going on. And so I was drinking, I was getting blacked out drunk, but I wasn't getting my papers done and I wasn't going to class regularly, and so I wasn't working, so I still had some bills, some leftover college, expenses to pay, and so I was getting letters and I was getting emails, and it was just I don't know, it was just a circle
So
type
was this
thing.
something that prompted you to go into treatment?
Yeah, that's what prompted me to go the
Okay.
first time because I really felt like I needed some help, and I just needed like a break to like get myself together and try to focus on what to do next or
So
just how to.
I could definitely see that going back to the stressors that led you into treatment. But specifically, tell me about that treatment experience. When you were in there, tell me
Well,
about the.
when I was in there, I wasn't drinking,
Okay.
so I mean that was alcohol wasn't readily available to me. But then again, there weren't a lot of stressors either. I didn't have to worry so much about catching up on the schoolwork and things like that. I had that support system, and a lot of people were like, just get well, and don't worry about school just yet, and things like that. And so I really did just focus on myself and kind of taking it one day at a time, I guess. Um, yeah, and there was a lot of I felt like there was a lot of helpful people when I was in treatment. Then when I got out of treatment, there just wasn't that support system, or there weren't that many people out there to like you know help or see me struggling and like offer some support, or be I don't I
Mhm.
yeah, something like that.
And I definitely want to get into your support system in the further along as we go. So I really want to recap here some things that we just talked about that you are struggling with alcohol addiction. It seems, is that accurate?
Yes, I need some help with that.
Okay. And you said that you're drinking pretty frequently, and for you, there would be 3 times within the last week. And within those 3 times, you tend to drink into blackout, which is about 11 to 15 beers. And you describe yourself as having a pretty high tolerance. And you said that you have sought out treatment before as well. And when you were in treatment, it did work out pretty well for you. You didn't have any stressors that were really too important on you that was causing you to want to relapse. And plus, you were in a controlled environment, so there was no alcohol. But yet, when you left, you felt there wasn't as much support as you had when you were in. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about stressors earlier. I kind of want to go back to that. Like, so what are some stressors that you believe contribute to your use? I know you identified being back at school, trying to maintain friend relationships, balance a school life balance kind of thing that's going on that you really need to try to maintain, and that's kind of put you in the corner of making relapse more likely, in your opinion, right?
hmm
Okay. Any other stressors that we can identify at this time?
um I don't know. I guess my mom a little bit of a stressor to me sometimes.
Can you elaborate on that for me?
Um, I mean, she's a good mom and she wants good things for me, but it's like she's just an extra pressure, an extra, like an extra another straw on my back that I'm carrying around. And I feel like she doesn't mean to be, but she just that's the way she puts herself out there.
You say that
Um,
she's a lot of pressure. What does that mean?
yeah, like hey, are you doing good in classes? You know, are you at the library? You should be studying. Are you, you staying clean? Are you, you doing this? Are you doing that? I guess it's, I don't know,
Hmm.
naggy. I don't want to say she's naggy because I know she means well, but it's just like, dang, I need a moment, just to get myself together. And I'm trying. I feel like I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying to make her happy. I'm trying to keep myself together. And I just want her to know. I just want her to know that, so that I don't have to, every week or so have a conversation with her, being like, yes, I'm doing, I'm not doing.
So do you feel as it's a lot of pressure just to keep up to her standards almost?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So I'm definitely hearing the the sense of pressure when you discuss your relationship with your mom. But you also said that she's a pretty good mom.
Well, I mean, she, if I need anything, I know I can call her.
Hmm.
And she's there to support me whatever I need. But
Okay.
I feel like you have to jump through several hoops, to get there. And I think, I don't know.
Mhm. And that's understandable. So I'm thinking of mom as being a good support in your life, but with anything that's good, it seems like it comes with some negatives as well.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. Can you identify any triggers that may have contributed to your relapse?
I think my whole life is a trigger, especially at this moment in my life. I mean, an American college kid, their life is alcohol. Where is everybody going to hang out after class? They're going to go to the bar. What are we doing on the weekend? We're going to drink.
Hmm.
There's a frat party. The Five Muse are having a kegger. It's just like it's everywhere. I can find it anywhere. I can get it anywhere. It's cheap. Hell, I can go to, most people, you go to a party and they're like, hey, why aren't you drinking? And you can give them almost any excuse in the world. They're just like, here, take this beer, have a good time.
So I definitely can see that you seem as if alcohol's accessibility has been one of the greatest triggers, and then again trying to engage in those collegiate realms that we all become a part of when we're in
Yeah.
college, but yet trying to maintain your balance with your struggle with alcohol as an addiction.
Yeah. And I thought, like when I was, after I got out, I figured like, at first I was like so adamant and was like, no, I don't need it, I'm just here to have a good time and things like that. And then I thought that it kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, well, maybe since I know that I get blackout after like a bunch of drinks, I was like, well, maybe I can do like just one, like one or two, and just call it a day. And so I mean, so it was kind of like a process, and it just, it just kind of got out of control, and I fell right back into that old habit.
Hmm. Sounds like you feel as if you could test the waters a little bit and be okay and be
Yeah, I really
almost.
thought that I could control it this time, and I thought that I had the skills to keep it under control. But yeah, it just when the real stressors started happening, and there's a party every night, or you can find a party wherever. Alcohol's always available. It's always there. Just you just fall, you fall right back into that those old habits. That's what they say. Old habits die
Hmm.
hard.
Yeah, I could definitely understand how this could be a troubling experience with trying to maintain those balances and want to be caught in between an average college life and it's just still struggling to maintain sobriety and deal with alcohol and substance disorders. Uh, so when we talk about control, I wanted to know a little bit about what has been your longest period of sobriety since that is a form of control and being able to maintain relapse prevention.
Yeah, those months that I was in rehab.
Hmm.
Probably would have been the longest time I didn't have anything. But then again, I guess it wasn't always like this either. I didn't really start drinking until I until I went to college.
Okay. So there was a long period, of course, your entire life before going into college before you even used.
Yeah.
And you didn't fall into the temptations of use before that. But there's like once that environment came, alcohol was like readily available, and then rehab since then was your longest sobriety.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned earlier that rehab had provided this protective environment where alcohol couldn't come in and you had really no stressors. So do you feel like that is what allowed you to maintain this length of sobriety in rehab? Is there anything else that allowed you to maintain sobriety?
I think that has to be the main. I think that was really the main thing.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other strengths that you can identify at this time in your ability to refrain from use?
I don't think so. Not for real. I'm trying to think.
If it's a difficult question right now, we can always come back to it at the end. Is that what you like to do?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move past that one. I'll come back to it.
That's fine. Are there any legal issues you're currently experiencing?
No legal issues, but perhaps some financial issues. Yes.
Okay. When you discuss some financial issues, can you elaborate on them?
Basically, I just have to pay for college. I still owe the school about a good $2,500. Before the end of the semester.
Mm-hmm. Is that a stressor for you as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a stressor too.
Okay. All right. So I want to discuss a little bit about your physical and mental health. So going into that, do you have any physical or mental health problems right now or in the past?
I don't think I have any mental health issues. Physical, I'm not sure. I think I can't think of anything for real. For real, I know the alcohol affects me certain ways. Like after a while of drinking, a night of drinking, if I try to stop a little bit, I start to get the shakes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just going through my body goes through the withdrawals, and I know my hands start to shake real bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that would be the only physical issue I have. I don't think I have any other physical issues or mental issues like that.
Okay. So you don't have any mental health issues, is what I'm hearing, but there's been a significant physical health issues as it concerns the alcohol use, in which you go into shakes and you have withdrawal symptoms. Are you familiar with the withdrawal symptoms of alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm also saying that you have never had a mental health diagnosis, right?
No.
Okay. And no symptoms that will kind of give you the thought of possible mental health issues.
What do you mean, like talking to myself?
Or psychosis, like talking to yourself.
Do I see people in the walls or something like that? No. Can I have you just turn your phone off while you're in this session?
Definitely. I just wanted to turn down my alarm system.
Oh, okay. But no, I don't see people. I don't see things. Not even when I'm drunk. I'm not. I don't see like, hey, unicorn.
Of course. So I'm more so talking about sometimes when there's extensive use of alcohol, you can have what I would perceive to have mental health issues when it comes to possibly having hallucinations or delusions, just because the alcohol has been so excessive. So I want to know if you've experienced any of that, even if it's alcohol related.
Let me see. I think of a specific time that Mm. I I mean, what happens if I don't remember?
That's okay. There's nothing
Because
holding you back, and I understand that can be, a characteristic of alcohol use is lack of memory sometimes. So
yeah, I was like, you get blacked out, and then people kind of tell you things about what happened, and you're kind of like, don't remember that. So I don't know if I've ever really, well, I guess there was one time something about a rabbit
okay,
and wanting to eat a rabbit or something like that. But
okay.
I mean, just what my friend told me. I don't know if it
So
was
we're looking at pretty much
real.
no symptomology of mental health, no medications. You were never treated for any severe mental health issue or diagnosed mental health issue. Accurate?
Yeah, no, I never needed to go see a doctor or anything like that, or for
Okay.
a mental health issue.
So I want to know if you've had any history, and I know that this may also be kind of similar to what I've been asking about mental health, but I just want to ask this of anyone who comes in. This is just important information. Do you have a history of SI and HI?
I don't even think I know what that is.
So I'm going to explain that a little bit to you. And what that is it means that you either experience sometimes suicidal ideations or homicidal ideations. And if you've had any of those experiences, could you elaborate on what they were?
Um, I, mm, there was one night, yeah, it was a really, really bad night for me. And there was this girl I liked, and basically, we didn't, she like, I mean, okay, we were I want to say we were kind of talking, but then eventually, like, she just didn't want anything to do with me. And so that night, I went out with some friends and I got some whiskey basically. And I mean, within an hour, that entire bottle of whiskey that I bought was gone. And I was basically on the ground for the longest point. My friends picked me up and took me back to a house. And, I lost it. And I was in a really dark place. And, I basically just wanted to like bash my head in until I died. And
Mm-hmm.
um, that was really violent and that was really aggressive. I just wanted to hurt things, break things, yell, scream.
Did you get any medical attention?
No, I never got any medical attention for that. No.
Okay. And are you currently struggling with any SI or HI at this point?
No, I'm not there right now.
Okay. And have you experienced any mental health crises within the last 3 to 5 years?
Um, with some mental health crises.
So I would say anything that's kind of out of the norm, that's mental health related, where your story about that night of getting extremely intoxicated and wanting to bash your head in. That to me would be like a mental health crisis.
Mm.
Have you experienced any of something similar along the same lines of those experiences within the last 3 to 5 years?
No, I don't. I don't think so. Not really to that level. No. I think just sometimes I get severely when I get depressed. I will drink a little bit, but I don't. It's like I don't go down that dark hole like that. I did that one night. I just kind of I'll chill and just drink a beer. Watch TV. Um, while I'm depressed.
Okay.
It seems to be all right.
So it seems like you have struggled with some self-assessment of depression. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we all get depressed, from time to time, and we all have our ways of dealing with that. Rather, you sit around in your underwear and eat ice cream, or drink a beer or
Okay.
whatever helps you.
All right. So what I'm hearing overall, and I want to ask this one question too, associated with mental health as well. Do you have any history of trauma? Where somebody, and I will explain what trauma is. Some people get physical trauma, where it's like taking massive hits to the body. When we think about mental health trauma, we think about things that you've experienced maybe in your childhood or even in your adult life that have really had a negative impact on you. That could really jar your emotional experiences to the point where you may relive those experiences or play them back in your head. That's the best way I can definitely describe that as being like a trauma. Have you had anything
Um,
like that at all in your life?
I can't think of any specific instances of me reliving past issues.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. And I also want to ask a little bit about family history and mental health or substance abuse issues. Is there anyone in your family that has experienced any mental health issues or struggle with substance abuse, maybe similar to you? And if so, what were their problems?
As far as mental health goes, I don't think there's anybody in my family who has some mental health issues. At least no one I can think of right off the bat. However, I mean, I definitely have a couple cousins. They all drink. There's
Okay.
definitely, the family drunk. Who's drunk every time you see them. Um, who else? I mean, there might be a couple people who are also addicted to painkillers.
No.
I think I have a few cousins like that, but other than that, I don't really think the family. I don't think I have a family full of avid users per se.
Okay. So, but you do agree that there are some familial issues with substance abuse.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So basically, what I've been hearing is that you don't really have any extreme mental health disorders or mental health issues or problems, but you have had some experiences with depression and some experiences with possible suicidal ideation. But they were most likely due to associated issues with drinking. But there's also no family, no history of trauma or real extreme family history of mental health issues, but there is some familial issues with substance abuse. So I want to continue on and discuss possible supports. Do you currently have any family or community support established to help you with these issues?
Mm, no, not. I guess I would say like my teachers. All of my professors kind of know that I'm struggling, but I don't think that they really know how to help me or can help me really, stay on that right track.
Mm-hmm. I know you mentioned earlier your mom was a great support, even though there's some negatives with that.
Yeah, I would still count her as a support.
Okay.
I want to say my friends, but not really. They don't know what to do either. They much rather go out and have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know,
Is there any friends or peers that you feel like you can confide in?
um, I guess so. Yeah, I think I'd say two of them or so.
Okay.
But it's kind of hard to confide in somebody when you're sober. When you're drunk, it's easier to tell somebody things.
Okay. So
Um,
you feel like sober you is probably not really as open to talking about your confidences with others.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like things are just so much easier when you're drunk.
Okay. So let's describe your relationship with your peers, so your friends. Tell me about their relationship. A little bit of the details.
Um, hmm, we're all young.
Okay.
We all go to college. We all like to party. I mean, majority of my friends are guys, so we're all male. What else should I tell you? I mean, we hang out, we do normal guy stuff, video games. grill on the weekend, things like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
All right. And so I want to talk a little bit also about maybe do you belong to any clubs or organizations? And if you do, are they a source of enjoyment for you?
No, I really don't belong to any clubs or organizations or anything like that.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you do have supportive members, I mean, like your teachers and your mom, but your teachers, you don't feel as if you're going to confide in them as much because of their position and they don't know much about what you're going through.
Yeah.
You do have some supportive friends, maybe too, but a lot of your peers are also into drinking and the partying scene, and most of your relationship with them is very much your young males partying
Yeah, yeah,
and doing what young males do at colleges, and you don't really belong to any major organizations or clubs at all.
no.
Okay. And can you describe some of your leisure activities for me? And are these activities things that you enjoy as well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely enjoy, watching Netflix, things like that. Video games. Let me see. What else? I really enjoyed just like taking a drive. I don't know. That's something about just riding away
Okay.
on the road is something that's really nice and relaxing. What else? Leisure activities. Um, I guess that's pretty much it.
Okay. And now we discussed physical health, and basically, you don't have any other major health risk at all, do you?
Health risks of what, like diabetes or something like that?
Like diabetes, high blood pressure, nothing physical or congestive heart failure, nothing like that at all. Are you experiencing?
Um, no, I don't think so. But I mean, I haven't been to a doctor recently either
Okay.
to like
So do
have
you
a
have a?
checkup to see what's going on, with
Okay.
blood pressures and livers and things like that.
So I'm assuming you don't have a primary care physician.
I do. I just haven't seen him.
Okay. And what is his name?
His name is Daryl Camp.
Okay. All right. Um, and I also want to again ask the same thing as I did with the substance abuse. Is there a family history of physical health issues? And if so, do you know what those are? Can you list those?
There is, I guess, a bit of a history with colon cancer.
Okay.
I believe my grandpa and some cousins have died from it.
Okay.
Um, Other health issues, the poor eyesight, and I would guess high blood pressure.
Okay. So poor eyesight and high blood pressure, as well as colon cancer. Okay. And are you currently taking any medications for physical health needs?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So I'm hearing that there may be it's a family history of physical health concerns with regarding the potential for high blood pressure, colon cancer, and poor eyesight. And right now, you're not currently taking any medications, but you do have a primary care physician, but you haven't really seen him much because you haven't gone and had any physicals or anything recent. I want to go into talking about your childhood a little bit. How would you describe your childhood?
I mean, I guess it was all right. Um, I wouldn't say I had a bad childhood whatsoever. I think it was pretty normal as far as childhoods go. You know, went to school like every other kid, got pretty decent grades. I mean, not the best, but they were decent enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, uh, always had got to go over sleepovers and birthday parties and pool parties, things like that. Let's see. growing up, definitely was in a single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I hardly ever, I don't know. I can't say that we were poor, but we weren't necessarily rich either. Can't say I ever really wanted for anything. The majority of times I got whatever I wanted. Um, yeah,
So you pretty much describe your childhood has been pretty positive experiences. You grew up in a single parent home and you had a decent upbringing. It was pretty normalized for you.
yeah.
Okay. How would you describe some of your educational experiences within your childhood as you've grown up?
Um, I mean, they're all right. I don't think I had many friends. Um, Throughout my educational, experience. Always seems like I had probably good 5 friends.
Hmm.
Um, People who really knew me, I guess, or people who I just kind of talked to and associated with.
Okay.
Um, but I seem to be very popular. Like all the teachers knew me. Um, you know, I kind of sometimes felt like I was popular, but I just didn't. But I also felt like nobody knew me at the same time, if that makes any type of sense whatsoever.
Okay, I understand.
I think it's like people just knew my name and they knew me by look and sound, but they didn't really like take the time to know who I was or to know me, except for like the few guys I talked to.
So it seems like other than those few childhood friends that you had, there really wasn't any in-depth connection with other individuals. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
Okay. What was the highest level of education you've completed?
the high school.
Okay. And so right now you're just going through college right now to get your undergrad.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about relationships and marriage before we get into the final portion of our interview here. Are you currently in a relationship or are you currently married?
I am not in a relationship, nor am I currently married.
Okay. Um, um, do you want to be in a relationship?
Um, yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you also want to talk a little bit about religious beliefs? Do you have any specific religious beliefs?
Yeah, we're Baptists.
Okay. Do you see your religious beliefs as being a strength in your recovery?
No, not really.
Okay. So currently, what I'm seeing here is that you're saying that you're not in a relationship or you're not married, and but you would like to be eventually. And concerning religion and faith, um, you're Baptist, but you don't see any real connection to being Baptist and your treatment and recovery and how it can be a strength.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we go into the close of the interview today, I want to go over some additional information. I want to just ask you, what is your goal for your overall therapeutic experiences here?
I think this time I really have to set like some stronger coping skills. When I went out there, it was just things fell apart, and I just need some way. I just need somebody to help me, you know, stay on track.
Okay. And what are several strengths that you possess that can aid you in recovery? I know this one we skipped earlier, but here it is again. I want to see if you thought about some strengths in your recovery that can be beneficial for you.
Um, I think I'm a strong worker.
Okay.
Um, so like that dedication of working hard, I guess it's a strength, and um, I don't know how to explain this one, but I feel like I don't want to. I'm like the type of person who like doesn't want to be in the same place that I was like a year. I want to be better.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I guess that's the strength. Like I want to do something.
So it seems like you're very motivated.
Yes, I guess motivation works. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm seeing here that one of your strengths is just being a strong worker, and that you're also motivated to make those changes. Um, we talked earlier about coping skills, and that you'll want to get stronger coping skills to help you with the transition back into the community and back into school. Do you have any established and effective coping skills right now?
Ineffective, you say?
Or effective? I want to know if anything working for you.
Oh, effective. Yeah, no, I can't think of any of them that have actually really worked and succeeded. In all honesty.
Okay. And so I just want to move on to say, despite coming in to address your personal issues, what is one positive thing in your life that you do well?
Oh man. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna go with my sense of humor. I guess
Okay.
I can always take a laugh
All right, that's good to know.
or make a laugh. I don't know.
That's really good to know. All right, so I just want to recap at this time. It seems like you came in here today to discuss a recent relapse that you had experienced approximately 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We went through some history with your struggle with substance abuse, primarily alcohol, and some issues that you had struggled concerning alcohol abuse. You identified several stressors, one being issues in school, balancing between friends and school life all over again. Um, at this time, you say you don't really have any effective coping skills, but you have identified several strengths. You say that you're a strong worker, and you're also motivated to make changes. You don't really have any existing mental health issues or really any physical health issues. But you identify several instances in which SI was pretty prominent, and but that you didn't seek any additional help for that as well. Um, you did say that earlier that treatment, when you did go into your treatment program, that it was pretty successful because it had so many barriers where you couldn't get alcohol, and also there was less stressors, which seemed to be a positive thing for you and very beneficial. You've identified a couple of sober supports. Your mom included some teachers, but you're not connected to any organizations right now that could be a great source of support for you. You've also identified some leisure skills that can be beneficial in your recovery as well. So moving forward, does all that sound accurate to what we discussed today?
Yeah, I think all that sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Is anything else you would like to add today? Something that you wanted to elaborate on? Something you want to discuss in detail further?
Um, I don't know. I don't think so. Not for real. It seems like we talked about a lot of things. We touched on a lot of things. You know, I'm really just trying to get back into the rehab and really, work twice as hard this time to really try and get it to stick. Because the real life's out there, and I'm just waiting to, I gotta be able to work. I gotta be
Mm-hmm.
able to live my life without going back to alcohol, because I feel like, as soon as I leave this office, I'm gonna, probably stop and just drink, and, not for any particular reason other than, that's just my life.
And I understand. I understand where you're coming from. So at this time, I want to talk about treatment recommendations based on what we've discussed today. I'm going to be recommending to your therapist that we closely examine the possibility of inpatient treatment once again. I really want to look into that for several reasons. That you say that your substance abuse has been pretty prevalent about 3 times within the last month, and each one of those times you drank to blackout, which is about 11 to 15 beers. Um, I would definitely want to get you into inpatient treatment to give you more effective coping skills, as that is a desire of yours and a need that you feel like you really want to reach as a goal. And I also believe that if we get you into a more sustained environment, you will do well based on your history of doing well in the previous treatment environment. I think one thing that we could possibly work on is transitional skills with those coping skills to help you be more successful when you do return back into the community.
Uh,
Okay. And also possibly looking at some community support linkages to get you more involved with things that are going to keep you focused on your recovery and help you stick to it so that you can be more successful when you leave. Does that sound like options that you're okay with?
yeah, I'm willing to try anything. I guess I guess that could be one of my strengths. I'm willing to try anything
Okay, willing to
once.
try anything. I like that as a strength. Okay. All right. At this time, I would love to thank you for coming in today and having this interview. We're going to move you along to the therapist so that he can perform his assessments and come up with a formal diagnosis, just so we can enter you into treatment and get your goals and your clinical team set up for you today. Feel free to have some donuts and coffee in our lounge, and the therapist will be right out to come and get you.
All right. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great day.